today for the 2020 Digital Entrepreneurs Summit. We have got a full 2 hours of value here for you today to help inspire consultants, business owners, and those who are self-employed navigate these uncertain times. There is no doubt that we live in uncertain times. However, we all believe that we all have the skills to not only survive, but thrive in these times. We believe just because we are in lockdown does not mean that our businesses are in shutdown. And today we are going to share with you 5 perspectives in how you can navigate from uncertainty to growth. We're going to hear from Ossie Kahn, a professional skydiver and entrepreneur turned social entrepreneur on growth mindset. We're going to hear about business development for the face of the Entourage, one of Australia's premier entrepreneurship communities. I'm going to speak about digital events and how I have moved my consultancy practice and run over 10 events since COVID shutdown 1 to develop a thriving consultancy practice. And then the CEO of Melbourne Metropolitan College, Mr. Hemi Hossain, will speak about digital funnels and the ways that you can, over the next 8 weeks, build a thriving consultancy practice. And finally, we're going to hear from Australia's premier photographer to the stars and about the art of personal branding, Ms. Zarina Robertson. So warm welcome to all of our speakers, and thank you very much for your time today. I will first introduce the CEO of Melbourne Metropolitan College. He is the digital funnel expert and the author of the Amazon best-selling book, Fire Your Boss. Will you please welcome Mr. Hemi Hossain?
Thank you, Gareth. Thank you for introducing me. This is an amazing time, next 2 hours. Just 1 second, Gareth. I'm just saying why. Give me 1 second. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Gareth. Thank you for introducing me. And as all of you know, my name is Hemi Hossain. I'm the CEO of Melbourne Metropolitan College. I would like to welcome all of you today in this amazing next 2 hours Digital Entrepreneur Summit. And I also like to show my gratitude all the speakers who just came today and then put your commitment in this evening and tell us about what's happening in the industry right now and how we can convert our business in the digital area. I also want to tell about a little bit around the Melbourne Metropolitan College. So the Melbourne Metropolitan College is one of the registered training organization in Australia. We have got our beautiful campus in Melbourne CBD. If you ever get the opportunity to come to Melbourne CBD, please knock me and visit our beautiful campus in Melbourne CBD. We provide different BEd courses under Melbourne Metropolitan College. We have got the domestic student and we have also international student in Melbourne Metropolitan College. We have been operating our business for last 6 years in Australia. So little bit about this summit. And the question is, why this summit is Digital Entrepreneur Summit? Why not the Entrepreneur Summit? I know we have been running so many Entrepreneur Summit in Australia in last 10 to 15 years. But my concept is the whole word of entrepreneur doesn't work anymore. For me, everything has to be digital entrepreneur. And I have been promoting digital entrepreneurship last 6 to 7 years as I came from technology background, digital background. And I think that 2020, during this COVID, now we realize how important is run the business in online. We all now know how to work from home. We all now know how to do everything digitally. So I'm pretty sure that next 2 hours, we can learn so much about from all the the speakers that how we can run our business in digitally, how we can run our business in online. And I'm sure that we'll get so much value out of these 2 hours and we can take away from here and run our business in online. We cannot stop our business because the outside is COVID-19. We need to continue doing it. And I'm sure that the next 2 hours, we're going to learn so much and we're going to get so much value out of it in next 2 hours. Thank you, Gareth. I give it to you back.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Hemi, and thanks for hosting us all today. To begin with, we want to introduce a man that needs no introduction to discuss about how we can move from uncertainty to growth in these times. And he is a business development manager of the Entourage, Australia's #1 entrepreneur community. Way back when, he was the winner of the first Australian Apprentice in 2009. He's a natural-born leader and was born with a microphone in his mouth, having grown up in the world of family business and venturing into the world of entrepreneurs as a teenager. He's the boy from the burbs making it in the big city. Will you please warmly welcome to discuss business development in the time of COVID-19, Mr. Andrew Morello.
Thank you very much, Gareth. Appreciate it. I always love when you introduce me, when we do stuff together. I feel like I just want to box you up and take you all, well, I'm not going around the world anymore, but May this year I was booked to speak in 5 countries, and obviously I got stuck in the one. So, but it's great to be doing these events digitally with you and to be a part of the summit we got coming up, and really excited to see the growth that everybody's going to go through during this period, not just financially, not just business-wise, but also emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and as well physically as well with their business. So I think through great change comes a great opportunity for you to actually, and this is probably tip number 1. I've sort of brainstormed it, off the back of, I've left this fairly informal today, and we'll do something a bit more formal at the summit. But tip number 1 is probably, is the mindset and the idea that it's business as usual in an unusual circumstance, right? So I think one of the biggest challenges that people have been having is just getting their head around that some of these things and moving digital and moving more digital, if you're already in the digital gut realm, is actually just part and parcel of just the way business is done now. And stop sitting there and thinking, oh, it's going to go back to what it was. So for those of you who don't know me, I've got a background in property. My family, and I'm a shareholder in a company called Jellis Craig, which is JELLIS Craig, in real estate in Melbourne. We've got 26 offices right across Melbourne and Victoria, and we've had to move everything to online and digital. Like, we're a Melbourne-based real estate firm, so open for inspections and for property management and also sales have moved on to the digital realm now. We were already a fairly digital company, so the benefit to myself and to my business interests is my main companies, which were obviously the Entourage and Jellis Craig, were both very digital-based businesses already prior to this happening, and we made this change going back in 2016, not knowing obviously this would in particular happen, but understanding that this digital forum was going to become more and more relevant in today's market. So the number 1 sort of mindset tip is that it's business as usual in an unusual circumstance. So if you're taking notes, please write that one down. Probably the first business tip, and probably tip number 2, is that you need to redefine who your customer avatar is now. So obviously, let's say you had I saw a number of different businesses that were there before. People were talking about, I've got friends that have got yoga studios, and they've obviously, their market traditionally was people that came into, very health conscious people coming into the yoga studio. And it was generally an environment, and their client and customer avatar was very centric around already people that were on the health journey. Where I think there's a real opportunity right now is, and I gave this to one of our members that are in the Entourage, that are in the yoga sector, is explain to them that what they should do is there's a real market right now for getting people back into their health. And maybe people that weren't necessarily into yoga and didn't have the confidence in order to go walk into a studio and do yoga amongst all these, yoga bodies and so forth. Maybe there's an opportunity to really start to market to that market, being at home and running a digital product of some sort now. So there's a real opportunity for you to step back, and then redefine who your customer avatar is. That is, tip number 2, or the official tip for official business tip number 1. The next step would be, and guys, if you've got any questions as I go through these, you can just put them in the comments. I've got the comments spiel up on my screen, so I can have a look at that at any time too. And hi to Ivana and Anna, that I know very well. So great to see you guys. Thank you for joining. So step number 2 is leverage your database. So write that down, leverage your database. But what I'd like to say to you about leverage a database is I've got to give you a sub tip to that. And the sub tip to that is that you need to clean up your database. So like what's happened is, to give you an idea, a whole bunch of Entourage members were in the hospitality, food and beverage, right? And so all of a sudden they're in F&B, they've got a great business that's doing $1 million, $2 million in revenue as a restaurant or cafe, wherever it might be across Australia. The problem they did is they've never really captured their audience, they never really captured the database. And then when I've asked them, show me the database you've got, it hasn't been very good data. So I might have only a first name or only a surname or only an email address or only a phone number or a collection or a plethora of all of those. What you need to have is the basics at a minimum, which should be first name, surname, mobile, and email address. At a minimum, those 4 data points, right? Now, a lot of people say, oh, people don't like to put their mobile number in. This is where you should be spending some time in your COVID digital business development prospecting plan, where you should be spending some time each day, putting it in what we call your idle week, where every day you spend 60 to 90 minutes actually going through your database and cleaning up that database. Are you dedicating that time, energy, and effort into doing that? Or obviously there's plenty of opportunities with BPOs and offshore teams that you could get them to do that. So if you've got a database already that's got tens of thousands, look, to give you an idea, my database from Yellow Brick Road of financial planners, mortgage brokers, and accountants that I'd spoken to over 10 years at Yellow Brick Road with Mark Burris, I've actually collected 11,000 people's details. The data is not clean. But what did I do? I have the time now and the money and the energy and the resources to invest into a team in Manila that are actually cleaning up that database for me. So that database might go from 11,000 down to 2,000, but that 2,000 will be clean data with people's company names, their websites, their roles, their names, their email addresses, their phone numbers, and also the postcode they're in. So another little extra bonus tip here, guys, is when you're cleaning out that database and you're looking to leverage that database, obviously, if you've got businesses that are parochial, for example, if you're in Melbourne right now and you really need to focus on trying to get your core customer group to still activate and to still acknowledge and purchase a product or service from you, then having their postcode is also very useful as well. So something for you to keep in mind too. Off the back of this, of tip number 3 or step 2, effectively, with leverage your database, is that you should then develop out a thing. Write these down. You need to develop out a nurture sequence. Write that down. So what is my customer nurture sequence? So if they then get cleaned up and put back on your database, what emails are they receiving? What communication are they receiving? How many touch points am I getting? Are they seeing me from? Are they seeing me from an EDM? So an email goes out, but then the next thing is maybe they're getting seen, you're touching them on Facebook. And then maybe the next thing you're touching them on is Instagram. Then maybe the next thing you're touching them on is LinkedIn. So obviously, what is that nurture sequence that they're going through? And then the next part of that is what is the customer cadence? So the customer cadence. So you should be developing out these nurture sequences or these cadences to then what they do is they tie back into your business development program. You should be looking at things like a low cost or no cost lead magnet to get them to then opt in to then going onto some sort of a nurture sequence. You should be getting them to, you should be looking to add and provide massive amounts of value. So if you're not somebody who's had a business that is generally done on, that has generally done Zooms, this is the time. You know, you need to embrace the uncertainty of life. Write that down, embrace the uncertainty of life. You need to practice present moment awareness and understand that right now Zoom is here to stay. So that practicing that present moment awareness, Zoom is here to stay. So if you're not prepared to then embrace that technology, you know, Zarina would know and Gareth would know, six months ago, I didn't even know how to use Zoom, guys. I used to have, I don't know if Leo's on the chat now, but Leo, my business manager, would have to come into my office, set up my computer. I would present like this, and then he would have to come in and switch it off. I didn't know how to use the chat. I didn't know how to use any of that, right? And I was a face-to-face person. I was on 120 flights a year, flying all around the world, speaking and doing business. I was the guy that if somebody wanted to do a deal with me, a property deal, or a client was coming on board with Entourage, I would jump on the plane and go and do the deal with them. Like, there wasn't even a contract that needed to be signed, just because I did business the old-fashioned way. So the understanding that, number one, you need to embrace the uncertainty of life, which also includes embracing technology. Number two, you need to practice present moment awareness. And then the last thing as well is let go of the outcome a little bit. So yes, you should have a goal, but don't not do a Zoom because you think your customers or clients won't find it relevant. So make sure you do step outside that comfort zone to reach your full potential on that as well. The next thing I've got here is digital networking events. So like there's two themes. So the next tip, it's like, if you just want to write that, if you're taking notes, digital networking events, put that as the subheading for tip number 3 or 4, whichever way you're going down in your notes. So digital networking events, like events like this and educating yourself and so forth. So tip number 1, tip number 4.1 is attend digital networking events. Tip number 4.2 is don't be afraid to try and have a digital networking event for yourself. So if you've got a business that was traditionally a bricks and mortar business, right, and you've got a great customer base, people are yearning for interaction right now. To give you an idea, what I do is generally when I do my preview events for the Entourage or my group boardroom sessions, one of the things that I do is they generally go for 90 minutes or 2 hours. I generally say to people, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to give you, if it's, let's say, 2 hours, I'm going to give you an hour and 45 minutes of content. The last 15 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about what we do at the Entourage. So I'm going to talk to you about our products and our services. But then if you would like, I'll stick around at 4 o'clock when we finish, and we can and I'll facilitate a networking between different, business owners and a networking between different clients of the Entourage, right? Right now, you would think that people would be in a rush to get off or they'd be busy. Sometimes we have people staying on. So if I don't have another appointment booked straight after, what I generally do is I stay on as long as people are prepared to stay on. So people are prepared to stay on and go through all the way for another 20 minutes, half an hour, 45. The other week we had people on there for an hour and 45 minutes because people are just yearning to be able to have that human interaction and take advantage of that. So you might have a customer base and they may not traditionally be somebody that jumps onto Zoom. So let's say I was a cafe. Maybe something fun that you wanted to do is you go to everyone, why don't we have a bit of a meet and greet for all of our customers that used to come in. So right now your shop can't be open. You can do home. It's a great way to reignite people to look at home delivery with you. And it's a great way to just stay in touch with your community and your tribe to keep them interested and obviously get opportunities for whether that's catering. So a number of businesses in Sydney now have moved into the catering market where people can have 10 sort of people at their home, but they can't necessarily maybe go to a restaurant, or they want to have, a number of people for entertainment purposes. So they're getting that catering. Some people have pivoted their catering business into home delivery for mum and dad and family eating purposes, right? So look at digital networking events. 4.1 is attending them. 4.2 is digital networking events. Don't be afraid to have a crack and try putting on one yourself. Put it on your social media, send an SMS out to all your friends, put it through your EDMs, and put it through some sort of a nurture sequence. The last main tip I've got, and then I'm happy to take a couple of questions if you like as well, is relationship building, right? So what I'd like you to do down the left-hand side of your page, if you can just put for me F-O-R-D. Beautiful. So this is a little tip that I have, and it's a really, really good way to build relationships whilst you're doing your Zoom. So if you haven't traditionally done a lot of Zooms in your business, then this is a really good structure in order for you to build a strong relationship in a very short period over Zoom. The caveats, it's a tip point 5.2 effectively over this 4 thing, is that when you're doing a Zoom, guys, you need to bring at minimum 30% more energy. 30% more energy. So that means if traditionally you were talking to somebody and they were across the table from you, or they were at an event with you, standing across from you at an event, and you're conversing with them, when you're building a relationship with them, or when you're trying to get them to opt into your product or your service, or in some way, shape, or form, or you're looking to, to deliver some sort of a tender or product suite to them, one of the biggest mistakes people make is when they go on Zoom, they get a little bit shy and they get a little bit standoffish. So even if you're not shy and standoffish, even if naturally you are confident, you need to bring at a minimum 30% more energy and exuberance and movement to the conversation in order to try and break down that barrier of going from screen to screen, especially when you're doing digital business development, right? So one of the things I've got to use relationship building, and I've given you the Ford formula. I'm going to tell you what the Ford formula works with, right? And this formula without a doubt, ladies and gentlemen, has actually made me literally millions of dollars. And I'm not going to lie, it's a little bit cheeky, but it's introduced me to a lot of good times as well. So I've met some amazing people using this formula. I've traveled all over the world, and it's a great way to break down the barriers and earn that rapport from people. So F stands for family. So before my mum had early onset Alzheimer's, she used to always go shopping down at Moonee Pond Central in Moonee Ponds, where I am today, back in my hometown, looking after my dad. And she would go into Moonee Pond Central into Coles, and there'd be a guy selling vacuum cleaners there. And what would happen is, at the end of it, the guy would, a good salesman would go, oh, madam, where are you from? And she'd say, hi, I'm Mrs. Morello from Moonee Ponds. And she'd start telling a whole life story. She'd bring out the photos of her 2 granddaughters. She'd pull out the paperclip of when I won the first Apprentice, and I was on the front page of the newspaper with her and my dad with our photo. She'd start then talking about her husband, who's got the service station on the corner of Husqvarna Road and Buckley Street, Moonee Ponds. Now, what would happen at the end of it, if you'd let her talk about the most important thing to her, which is her family, what she would do is, off the back of that, she would then buy 2 vacuum cleaners. She didn't need them, but she would, because you let her talk about the most important thing to her, which is her family. O is for occupation. So if you go to the corner of Husqvarna Road and Buckley Street in Moonee Ponds, there's a service station there that's been there for 47 years called BP Morello Motors. Now, I'll give you the hot tip when it comes to occupation. Write this down. Know a lot about a little and a little about a lot. I'll repeat that. Know a lot about a little and a little about a lot. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that you don't want to pretend like you know everything about service stations when you go to sell spanners to my father at the corner of Husqvarna Road and Buckley Street, Moonee Ponds, or mechanical tools, right? You don't want to be arrogant or hubris or fake that you know everything. But what you need to be able to do is have an intellectual conversation about the industry. So what that means is that if you went there to that corner of Husqvarna Road and Buckley Street, Moonee Ponds, and you said to my dad, Mr. Morello, tell us about your opinion on the Woolworths and Coles effect on the small business owners and independent proprietors of service stations. My father would get up on his soapbox, talk for 45 minutes about how they've prostituted the fuel industry in Australia, they've ruined it for the independents, and you let him talk about what's important to him. What he'll actually do at the end, he'll buy 4 boxes of spanners. He doesn't need them, but he'll buy them, right? So you're letting him talk about the thing that's most important to him, which is his occupation or his business or whatever it might be. The third one is R for recreation. Now, this is what I like to say to people. This is that I can have a bit of fun with it. But one of the main things is, when I started my real estate career, I started in a place called Newport and Williamstown in Melbourne. It's a very Anglo-Saxon Celtic area. A lot of, 5, 6 generations of Smith and Jones and Williams and all that sort of jazz. Next door, there's an area called Newport. And one of my colleagues at Compton and Green in Williamstown said to me, you should go door knock in Newport. And I got a bit offended because obviously it's a more of an ethnic area. And he said, you're going to get more benefit there. But I was offended by it. As soon as I got a chance to remove my ego and understand that he was actually trying to help, I went door knocking. And all of a sudden in Newport, I was getting more opportunities and getting into more doors because I was able to have an affinity with the Lebanese community or the Arab community or the Italian community or the Croatian community that were there, because I'd grown up in a very similar culture to theirs and they were more open to me coming in their door. Last but not least, if you get the family part right, you get the occupation part right, and you get the recreation part right, they trust you, they will then share with you their D, which is their dreams. So how you tie this all up is Mr. and Mrs. Client, or Mr. Prospect, or Mr. Business that I'm trying to do a partnership with, or Mr. Online Opportunity. You've told me about your family, you've told me about your occupation, you've told me about your recreation, you've even told me about your dreams. Now, with your permission, slight pause. With your permission, slight pause, can I show you how Andrew Morello and how the entourage can help you achieve those dreams, goals, or opportunities? You tie all that up, you're better at refining that, and that's how you close the deal.
That is awesome. Some great tips there, Andrew, and fantastic. I love that energy and enthusiasm.
2 minutes over. Gareth, that wasn't too bad.
Not at all, not at all. It's all good. It's all good. You've done great, and there were some fantastic tips there. In fact, we've got a question coming through. One of the things that I liked was it's business as usual in unusual times. There's no doubt about that. I mean, just in terms of, redefining who our avatar is. I mean, Dan Andrews in hometown Melbourne last week just established that we're all going to move to a click and collect model. Now, that can seem confronting or a massive opportunity if you're in traditional industries, in brick and mortar industries. And any digital media consultants or otherwise on the call should see that as a massive opportunity. One question that we have before we will keep moving today was, how do you adjust your content in COVID-19 times?
So Gareth, a great question. Thank you, Dr. Faz, for that. It's a great question, but I don't think you need to. So to give you an idea, if I were to share my screen right now and show you my diary, I've literally been on Zooms. Yesterday, I had 10 Zooms in a row, right? So what I do now, write this down, guys. Emails don't sign contracts, people do, right? Emails don't make decisions, people do. So what you should be doing, everything in your nurture sequence and everything in your cadence should be you getting back in front of them on a Zoom right now. Get in front of them, be able to have a conversation with them, make sure you go through the Ford formula, break down the walls, build a relationship with them, and then by the time you go to talk about your product or service, they'll feel more comfortable about acknowledging and moving forward with you. So you don't necessarily have to, and the last thing I'll say to that to Dr. Faz as well, and anyone else looking to, you should find your own formula. Take the Ford formula, FORD, family, occupation, recreation, dreams, print that out, put that up on your wall next to where you're doing your Zooms and doing your phone calls, but you will find your own way of doing it. I gave you the Morello way of doing it, but a special guest, Zarina. You'll find I just showed you the Morello way of doing it, and obviously, if anyone wants to have a chat later, I'm happy to talk you through how to model it yourself. But you should then go and find your own, your own mojo, I call it, your own presentation style, and your own way of connecting with people.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Morello. Please give him a warm thank you, applause from the comfort of your own home.
Beautiful.
And if we're going to have, you'll have a chance to actually learn how you can spend a bit more time with Andrew at the end of the presentation today, because he is committed, as more than most, to actually helping others navigate through these uncertain times. Because we've got such a lineup today, we're going to keep moving. And we're going to now hear from Zarina Robertson. Now, Zarina is Australia's #1 photographer and authority on the power of personal branding. She's an award-winning photographer, videographer, speaker, and author of a new book called Magnetic Branding. And she has photographed everyone from Richard Benson to Simon Sinek. Today, she's and Andrew Morello, actually, and many of the entourage.
Yeah,
today she's going to speak to us about the art of standing out with personal branding. Will you please give her a warm welcome?
Oh, thank you very much.
Over to you.
Someone give me a fake crowd. No, I'm joking. Andrew, you're fantastic. You photographed, my darling. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for joining me and everybody else. It's been wonderful, Andrew. Thank you. And there's so many home truths about what Andrew said. And I guess being the second speaker, I think that what's really important in this online world that we are living in is actually showing up and standing out as who you really are and authentically and doing that. But more importantly is actually positioning your personal brand to attract your ideal clients. And what do I mean by that? It's actually like really understanding who you are as a business person and working out, like how you need to attract your ideal client in the new way, in a new client even, and a new way that you're going to move forward in the business environment that we're in at the moment. And it is challenging. I've had many a phone call with many of my clients that are not feeling uneasy. It's hitting a little bit of an emotional block with many people at the moment. And I think we need to recognize and acknowledge those people as well. And there are also people in the marketplace that are doing well. And so, there's opportunities to be had. And I guess, that's where we're at. So part of positioning yourself, and then what I help with my clients and helping you with is I'll go through some tips and tricks of how to position yourself. But I think that at the end of the day is that we are in a different landscape and an environment where the biggest thing, and I think the biggest outtake from what I want to share with you today is absolutely there's no hiding in COVID now. You need to absolutely be visible. And what does that mean? You know, in positioning your brand, and it actually means that you need to actually be more visible more than ever. And and what I mean by that is visible with your images, visible everywhere. What do I mean by that as well is that your video and your messaging needs to be on, needs to be sharing the right message so that you are positioning yourself for post-COVID. So we all need to have a mindset about what do we look like post-COVID, post-lockup, post whatever it is going to happen in the next couple of months. I think we need to future-proof ourselves as a brand, and I really think that we need to do that very fast and very effectively. How I take and what I do know to be true is that positioning, you're personalizing your brand and promoting your brand is crucial in this day and age. And right now we're mainly online. And what does that mean? It means that your images, your website is getting looked at more than ever before. And what does that mean is that, gosh, have we got updated images? Are we showing up as the real us? Are we living in the 1980s or are we living in 2021? You know, are you turning up and, you know, like, you know, looking and attracting and being who you really are, authentically and genuinely? And, you know, and I think we need to start really taking this seriously because where we are as business brands right now, you've got the opportunity to make or break the next, you know, to the next wave of what you want to be doing and how you want to be attracting the next, you know, the next client. So start looking at how you're turning up online, in your styling, how you're turning up. You know, with my brand, I'm known for being a little bit red. And so red's in the logo. And I kind of feel incongruent if I'm wearing pink or blue, as an example, right? So start looking at how you're being recognized online. Are you being recognized on who you are for what you do? And how you can measure that is the conversations you're having, the people that you're coming back and reacting to you, sending you messages. And like, say for example, even like Andrew yesterday, I had 8 Zoom calls. Boom, 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 boom. Last week I packed to the rafters with phone call, Zoom after Zoom after Zoom. I could not fit in any more appointments last week even if I wanted to. And why is that? It's because I'm showing up as the brand that I do, you know, as I am, but I want to share and help people position themselves as a personal brand. But I'm saying that there's a way that you need to position yourself to attract your ideal client, but it takes many facets and you know, in your images and the way you're turning up, how you're turning up. How are you sharing your message online? Are you sharing it online with other people? Are you having those events that Andrew was speaking about that really do position you as a brand? And I think that what's really important as a person and part of your brand is video. And video is crucial to sharing who you are. And I cannot express how important that is right now. Like video, be it your video messaging, how you're showing up on video. Are you being congruent? Are you showing up like not in the shadows, in good lighting? Are you showing up in the right way? Just part of me I want to say is that the Zoom calls where the background is cutting in and out, really, I feel doesn't cut the mustard. I feel it's kind of a little bit irky and quite jaggering on the person who's watching. I think that sometimes, you know, having a good green screen is good, but making sure that that background behind you is not distracting for your people. I think that also that having videos that are short, that are succinct, and and give good value is really important in this day and age. I think also having and helping your clients is really important in making sure that what you're sharing with them is relevant to now, and maybe, you know, and relevant to now, and not say, you know, regurgitating maybe something that was, you know, 1 year ago as an example. Try and be really relevant in how you're sharing your story, how you're turning up. And I think one of the key things is sharing a transformative story about who you are. I think that's really crucial to start gathering your tribe, gathering your community. I've recently launched a global offering in the product as is taking some really, it's changing the face of video literally, and it's sharing and helping people with their storytelling, and what you as a person, as a business person, or someone who's pivoting, or someone who's refreshing your brand, start looking at where those touch points are on social media that you can share who you are in groups, in connecting with people. Another thing also is start looking at your signature offers. They need to change. If you've got signature offers that you're using now that you used 6 months ago, that's old school. Start revamping your offers. Start looking at being innovative. And I think that there's a big thing for what I'd like to share with you guys is that when we're in circumstances right now, because I can only share this from where I've been and what I've had to do, fast and evolutionary and innovative, is that start looking at what you're going to do in regards to innovation. Be an innovative leader. Like, I'm a leader in my business, I'm a leader in my industry, I'm a leader for my clients, I'm a leader for my family, right? And the example, and a leader for the community. So maybe start reevaluating how you're going to be turning up and being a leader as a personal brand, and taking and helping people through the hardships, and being of help and being of assistance. Like I had a number of clients on Zoom last week. You know, they were sharing their deepest pains, right? And you know what? We need to be, as leaders, listeners, and we need to just really home in and be authentically helping people. And if they can do that with heart, I think that's really important in this day and age, because what you give back as a personal brand is what you're going to get back. And it's really crucial in this day and age to be really heartfelt and really helpful. Now, I'm not a plumber. I'm not a, you know, as you can tell, but if I could help somebody, help them where they are right now, then I will, because I've got a community around me that I've developed like my own
personal branding plumbing.
Yeah, but like my own inner circle of like my own inner circle, right? And so if you tap into that, you can help them, but also helping other people who need help with people that you know can help them. Do you know what I mean? Like, start being a resource. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think also what's important is understanding part of that is actually providing value and educating your clients on what you do in a really meaningful way, and giving the hints and the tips in that regard as well. What's important is understanding, one of the biggest things is understanding your personality archetype. Understand deeply who you are as a personality archetype, and this is what I talk about in my book, Magnetic Branding. And I go through personality archetypes and style, but understanding what you are as a personality archetype as a brand, and actually understanding who your avatar is. Who is your perfect client as that personality archetype? Start working out where the synergies are and where the mismatches are, and then you can start working out how to be a really good person in business, and how you can talk and position yourself as a brand that makes a lot more impact in this day and age. So is that, I just want to get some feedback. Is everyone on? Is that making any sense? Is there anything that
let's give Zarina some thumbs up or some applause there, if that all
it's
makes
always
sense.
good, right? Here's another thing. Always good to tap into the crowd, right?
Amazing.
That's great. So what I want to do, get some crowd interaction from, say, one being 0 maybe, and 10 being high-end potential. Please put in the chat box of 1 to 10, where do you rate your positioning of your brand. Where do you rate your positioning of your personal brand from 1 to 10? 10 being the hero and 1 being, Thanks, Matthew. It's
3, 5, 7.
3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 5. Yeah. Yes, great. Love it. Thanks for the interaction, guys. Yeah, appreciate that. So look, on average, I've got to say, on average, we're looking at a 5 here in the ratings here. So you know what? You guys have got a lot of potential. So if there's anything in any way I can help you with, helping you to understand with your strategy and actually helping you understand where you're missing the next 5, the next levels, I can definitely help you. So as I'm finishing off, I just want you guys to understand that being a brand and your potential and the way that you can harness that is standing out, believing in your message, believing in that you have a purpose, and there is no competition. You know, your competition has no idea on how to connect to the clients. Your competition doesn't even know how to do things the way that you do it in your magic way. You know, and I just want to leave that with you, because right now there's a hell of a lot of competition to get a hell of a lot of eyes on you. So I want you to know that be safe in understanding that you are the unique you are the unique brand, you are the unique person who delivers the right products. And I think before I do leave this you guys with gold nugget, please be in business for the right reasons. Don't take money from people if you're not going to deliver the goods. And if you're going to be that way, just go to a different industry, reinvent yourself. Right now is the time to reinvent yourself. If you don't feel passionate about you in what you're doing and what you're providing, please just change industries or just start moving and shifting and question yourself. Sit with yourself for a good hour and start writing down and jotting down, what can I do that can be better in my current business? What can I do that can be better in a different business? If your calling and your passion is not there. So, because you don't want to be of disservice to anybody right now in this environment right now, because everybody's hurting. Okay, there's pain in every different way. Even if you're making a buck or you're not making a buck, there's pain everywhere, because we've got our family that is feeling the pain, or we're feeling success. But you know, we're all in the same boat, having a massive reality check, no doubt about it. So I really want to share that with you, that, you know, start having some inner peace about where you're going, because I've got to say to you, when you are on track as a person in business, you will start attracting the most amazing experiences and the most amazing people around you for what you do. And I have to say, it's a lot about my story. So I can't wait to share more with you guys in my session coming up. And thank you for having me on board.
Thank you so much, Zarina, and a warm golf clap at the comfort of your home, or a loud hurrah, whatever you prefer. Zarina, fantastic. I just loved how you relate that there should be no better time right now to stand out from the crowd. Here in Melbourne, there is, you know, at least an entire city shut down and 2 million people probably trying to work from home, which makes LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Collins Street. So there could be never a better time for you to be focused on your personal brand. And we've got a great opportunity for you to do that and spend some more time with Zarina and hear from her and her expertise and the power of personal branding. So let's now move on and to our third speaker. And we have moved from the burbs from Moonee Ponds through to Sydney, and now we're actually going to fall from a great height through the wonderful world of entrepreneurship and the professional work that Ossie Kahn has done over the last 24 years. He has literally fallen over 9,500 times and landed safely, not only from the sky as a professional skydiver, but also through the world of business. He sold his first adventure sports aviation tourism business in 2012 to a publicly listed corporation. and then promptly moved into establishing a media business, filming content with such major international brands such as Ford, Jeep, National Australia Bank. Being responsible and alone is the first step in developing a growth mindset, Ossie tells me. Will you please give the man that puts Kahn into being an Aussie, Mr. Ossie Kahn?
Too good. Thank you very much, Gareth. It's really wonderful to be part of this championship team, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more. Let me just share my screen with you, and I've got a bit of a slideshow. I'm going to have some video as well, which will be a bit of fun. Okay, let me just get that out of the way. All right, here we go. All right, let me just move that guy as well. There we go, perfect. All right. Imagine you're at 14,000 feet. You can see the sun, you can see the...
I'm just going to suggest we can't see your slides.
Oh, really? Okay, sorry. That's interesting.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're right.
It's always part of it. Digital delivery 101. But you know what? The great thing about online delivery is that people are... yeah, here we go. We've got your screen back. But basically, these are great tools to be using. And I believe, apart from doing the face-to-face, the wonderful thing is that Zoom and presentations are more intimate. So certainly we're going to feel that now as we fly through the air with Ossie. You're ready to go, Ossie. You had it there. Just screen share and you're way to go.
Right.
I mean, sorry, presentation mode and you're way to go.
Can you see that
there
now?
You go. All good. Over to you, brother.
Right. All right, navigating uncertainty, and we're in COVID-19. Apologize for that before. Okay, I want you to have a look at this photograph. Okay, you can see the sun, you can see the clouds, you can see the sky. Imagine yourself, you're at 14,000 feet and you're in free fall. You've got your wits, you've got a parachute on your back, and you've got a clean pair of pants. My name is Ossie Kahn, and I'm a aerosports entrepreneur, and I'm a professional skydiver. COVID-19 certainly has got the world in a spin. All right, the conversations that I'm having at the moment are all about people are uncertain about what's going to happen tomorrow. They're talking about losing their jobs. They're talking about their businesses being shut down. There's three things that I'm going to talk to you guys about today that has really helped me be successful in the past, and is certainly going to help me be successful in the future. And these three things are: how do you build a championship team? How do you stand up from the crowd? And the third thing is, what does it actually mean to give the extra 10%? Now, in the workshops that I've been doing, I've been talking about, as Gareth said before, the whole principle about being alone and responsible. And what does that actually mean? It means that the buck stops with you. All right. Through my journey, I've always asked myself some questions about people like Jamie Oliver and Arnold Schwarzenegger. So Jamie Oliver, how did he actually go from being an apprentice chef to the great brand that he is today? How did Arnold Schwarzenegger go from being a bodybuilder, right? And he became the governor of California. I can guarantee you one thing, it definitely was not luck, okay? They had some clear steps that they proceeded down to actually get there, and they surrounded themselves with all the right people as well. And I take that to what I do, and that is, how did I go from being a skydiver to a person developing tourism, not only in Australia, but also in Southeast Asia? It's all about being alone and responsible. All right. When I do my workshops, these are the three things that I cover. All right. We'll go through them again. You know, how do we distinguish ourselves from the crowd? Everybody can have an idea, but how do you really get that idea and get people to buy into that idea? Either as team members or as customers. How do you build a championship team? And then there's also, you know, what does it mean if your team and you put an extra 10% in to make your dream possible? The things that we're going to talk about today within that, though, are managing perceptions, developing reputation, always getting a great result. So these are the things that I'd like you to write down when you're thinking about having a growth mindset. All right, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. All right, so 2 years ago, I got invited by a group of investors, right, to go and build a skydiving center in Bali, Indonesia. Right, never been to never done business in Indonesia before. I had to develop a growth mindset and really learn about the culture, about how things work, etc., etc. Anyway, so I was very lucky to be invited to speak at Aerosports conference that was sponsored by Garuda Airlines. And it was all about the power of aerosports tourism and how it can contribute to the economy, all right? Now, you know, in the room, we had people from the government, we had people, you know, tourism operators, we had journalists, we had people in education and universities. We had all the right people in the room. And I realized that it was an opportunity for me to start building a network, building a team, and working out how can I actually do this and how can I remove all the roadblocks. That is a growth mindset. I don't know everything. I'm in your country. I don't know everything, and I want to learn. And the things that we started to talk about, the things that really pricked their ears up, was I started talking about, not about, oh, we need a plan, I'm going to build an airfield and all this sort of stuff. I started talking about things like economic development, growing tourism. The village that we're going to be in has no tourism whatsoever. And we're going to bring tourists to that area and help the local community, give them opportunities, etc. We even started talking about how wonderful it would be for Indonesia to be a shining light when it comes to, it's a Muslim country, be a shining light when it comes to developing women in sport, women in careers, women in aviation. I started building a team very easily from that time. All right, so key messages for mindset growth, okay? It's all about being different. It's all about having your own message. And these are the things that Zarina and Andrew just said before. You know, who are you? What do you stand for? All right, we're gonna have some fun now, okay? We're talking about differentiating ourselves from everybody else, okay? We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna play a game, all right? And please throw them up in the chat box as well. And hopefully I'll be able to see them while I'm sharing my screen. What are the words that you think about when I say skydive? I'm just seeing if I get to see the comments, and not really, that's okay.
Fun, excitement, jumping.
There you go, jumping, adrenaline rush. I can't even see that. What does that say, Gareth?
Opportunity, fear, scared, hope.
There you go, you know, exciting.
Right. Holy cow.
Yep, shredder, you know. All these things are what I constantly be hearing from people about what they think about skydiving. My question is, could I possibly change your perception? Let's give it a go, hey? And this is what we use to actually scale our business, Melbourne Skydive Centre, right? Where we've got a lot more customers, and then all of a sudden, we've got an ASX listed company wanting to buy our business. So here it is. This is called Experience Human Flight.
Awesome.
Go. There you go. So now, what words do you think about when I say skydiving? Have a think about the images that you just saw, because that is what I feel when I go skydiving. So words that have come up are things like serene, things like, Gareth, can you read that one out for me?
Peace.
Peace, heavenly,
Floating in the air. Breathtaking.
control, exactly,
Gliding.
calm, right? Also,
Freedom.
freedom, I can.
Zen.
Exactly, I can, right? So, all right, let's move on. Oh, by the way, that video, when we released it, went to 40,000 views overnight, and it also went to 2 million views within a couple of weeks. And to Zarina's point before, the power of storytelling, the power of video, that was 1 minute 50, and I hope you felt the story that I was trying to tell there. So let's move on to the second point of growth mindset, okay? And it's about bringing or creating a championship team, and it all starts with you, okay? As the leader, as the consultant, as the entrepreneur. Now, John Bertram, winner of the America's Cup, had a great quote, and it was, "A team of champions, what's the difference between a team of champions versus a championship team?" A team of champions is a group of people that are very good at what they do, but they don't necessarily work well as a team. Whereas a championship team are all champions that can all work very well together. All right, so we're going to talk about 3 things of building a championship team. The first one is the traits of the business owner, the entrepreneur, or the consultant. All right. Now, one of the things that I implore you to do is always confront yourself about the idea. Make sure you're doing your research, know what you don't know and know what you need to know, right? You need to be able to accept new ideas, whether you're researching them yourselves or you've been giving these new ideas by team members or people who are giving you advice. It's also about being very nimble and being able to see opportunities and move on those opportunities straight away. Now, when I do the full workshop, there's a lot more that I talk about, and the rest of it really is about owning your own shit, all right? Looking yourself in the mirror and being accountable. Okay, the number 2 of the growth mindset and building a championship team is how do we do the onboarding process? Now, we're onboarding either clients or we're onboarding team members. Well, actual fact, you onboard team members first, and obviously as you build your solution, clients will come as well. And it's all about developing the ideas and working out where the problems might lie, remove those roadblocks and make your way through to be able to build a robust solution that people want to purchase. All right. When you're actually looking at your team, when you're actually looking to recruit your team, there's 4 sort of categories that they fall into. And you need to be listening to what they're saying and work out, are they going to be a champion within a championship team? So the first one is being excited about the opportunity. The second one is a person who is intrigued, has already starting to build those ideas in their head and starting to add to your solution. There are other people that, yeah, they sort of get it, but they can't really join the dots, and then people, it's just not their cup of tea. All right. So these are the 4 things these are the 4 people that I've found that I've been introduced to in my life. And it's probably number 1 and number 2 that I want to be within my championship team. I'm going to tell you a little story now, okay? And this is really about team dynamics, all right? And it's actually a story about the World Skydiving Championship. That's the stage, the World Skydiving Championships. And basically, it's a story about Australia versus America. And it's in Corowa in New South Wales, where the Victorians aren't allowed to go due to COVID-19. Freestyle skydiving is a discipline where you have a performer and you have a camera person, right? The camera person makes the performer look good. They perform a number of routines, and then that footage is given to the judges to judge, and there's 10 rounds. Right, here we have 2 performers. We have Ash and we have Chris, right? Now, both of these guys are very capable. They're extremely good at what they do. Chris was very fortunate because he sold Microsoft shares or whatever, and he made a lot of money. So he had the time and the resources to be able to put to a 3-year campaign to become the world champion. And actually The year before, 1999 we're talking about, the year before, he actually was the world champion. And he got Ash here, who had this dream, this aspiration. I want to be the world champion in freestyle. It's what I'm very passionate about. He's actually at, Corowa at the world championships as well. Now, going to game day, all right? Both these teams are getting ready to go. It was pretty obvious by about round 5 that Chris really was very talented and you could see the experience coming through. But the spectators start to realise, the competitors start to realise, and the judges started to realise that Ash and John actually could be a contender as well. The way they were flying was so dynamic, it was so fluid. Their movements, the way that, John captured Ash in the frame. By the end of the competition, Ash and John had won. Ash and John had won a gold medal for Australia. Now, what is the difference between these two teams? You've got one team, Chris and Grant, who have all the resources, the money and the time, right? He had Ash and John. Ash actually was working his way through an IT career. He actually ended up becoming the CIO of iFlix, the competitor to Netflix. How did Ash and John beat these guys that had more resource and more time? And it was because they changed the game. Instead of the cameraman just filming the performer to look good, Ash and John worked together as a team, right? Where they worked on their strengths, they listened to what the judges wanted, and they changed the game dynamically. That is why Ash and John won. All right, what it's about is starting with a clean slate, the same old thinking, throw that out, get new thinking and new results. All right. This is the start of our journey. So when I go into the workshop a little bit further, we're going to talk about, the Jamie Oliver story. Like, how did he get to going from an apprentice chef to a Jamie Oliver? Who did he bring to the team to help him with his success? I'm also going to share my story. How did I go from a person strapping on tandems, jumping out of a plane, to developing tourism economies? And it's really around these 3 things. It's around training and qualifications, having a good track record, and having a commercial identity, a reputation. Write these things down, guys. 3 performance elements: training and qualifications, the track record, what have you done in the past to prove that you can do all the things that you do, and your commercial identity. Just to touch on this, I was going to actually mention this before, but the whole reason why these investors, gave me a call. The big question is, why do investors invest in people? And it's because of these 3 traits, because they know they can get the result. And when they do their research, these 3 things are the things that they say, yep, we want to put our money to this guy. We're going to back that horse. All right. So who does this apply to? Directors of the board, CEOs, CIOs, CFOs, etc. Senior and middle management, employees, etc. Okay, so this is what the workshop's about. These are the things I want you to start thinking about: distinguishing yourself from the crowd, building a championship team, and that extra 10% growth. My name is Ossie Kahn. I want to help you get that good parachute above you. Challenging times of COVID-19. Please, anytime, give me a call. Thank you very much. Thank you, Gareth.
Awesome, Ossie. Thank you so much. Wow, that's fantastic, Ossie. Thank you so much, and for those slides. This is really good information. I mean, one of the things about these challenging times is, I loved how you relate building teams in navigating these uncertain times, Ossie. Really good. And, I think it's completely relevant that the world is our classroom, and that you've free-falled not only through your passion and purpose, which is skydiving, but also through the world of business. And one of the things, Ossie, that I often relate in learning about your story and journey is that what you do has taught you to trust yourself, to really trust yourself in these changing times, that you have the answers available. And certainly that's wandered into digital worlds, but also into social tourism worlds as well. So unless you go for it.
Yeah, so the biggest thing, the one thing I want to add to this is the fact that, when I'm back in Australia, I do all my skydiving out at St Kilda, and every day, you have to do the thinking and figure out what is it that I need to do every day, you know, to keep my customers safe jumping out of a plane. And what skydiving's done for me, it's made me think about things in the rest of my life. Have I really thought this through? Am I actually going to back myself, right? Or have I just thought about it half-assed and then wonder why I didn't get a good result?
Sure. It's all in the preparation and planning and how you pack your parachute. That's what I've also learned from Ossie, and I've been lucky enough to fall 15,000 feet with him. So, Ossie, thank you so much. Managing risk was all part of it. A great analogy of life, says Andrew Morello. And you can also, we've got an additional way that you can actually spend some time and actually learn a bit more about how to build championship teams, and importantly about having that growth mindset. Really, really important in these times. You know, a fixed mindset is one that sees problems as obstacles, while a growth mindset sees opportunity in the obstacles. And that's certainly something that our colleagues, our friends, and our clients, we don't instill enough in, because it really is how we can navigate through these uncertain times. We're going to move along because we've got 2 more speakers today, and I'm building a bridge now into this next section, where I'm going to speak to you about the 3 stages of staging an event for digital delivery. To begin this, you know, and certainly the Digital Summit here today is just one example of how very quickly and nimbly we can all stage events. And I'm going to speak to you about this in the context of education being a really important tool in how we can all this with other people. But I'd like to begin this where most great things begin, and that is in the world of story. And this story begins like this. All the world's a stage, and all these men and women behind me are merely players. They have all had their exits and their entrances today, but however, it is you as an entrepreneur that will play many parts. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to present to you today the stages of staging successful events in a COVID world using the digital tools available to you. This is a sure way of surviving and thriving through this COVID-19 crisis. And I have personally found these tools to be incredibly useful, and most importantly, are available to you free to use. What's important to realize in this crisis is that a lockdown does not mean a business shutdown. In fact, there's been never a better time to utilize the digital tools that are available to you literally in the palm of your hands. And the best of all, that most of these tools are free to use. And I want you to actually begin this section by actually writing down this equation. And it is the equation that I have used over the last 10 or so plus weeks to leverage my consultancy practice, and which has grown through these times and has not shrunk. And the equation is like this. Online events plus education equals customer engagement. Online events plus education equals online engagement. The truth is that you now have a captured audience. In the silent streets of Collins Street presently, over 5 million people are working from home. And while Collins Street may be shut down, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Instagram, and your YouTube are now your Collins Street. And they are waiting for you to stage an event. And the key ingredient of this, ladies and gentlemen, is that education is key. The one stage that has been present since the dawn of time is human beings' innate desire to learn and grow. Because education also equals empowerment. The use of online events which facilitate education gives you a unique selling proposition in these changing times. Education is now your USP. This is the time to educate your current or prospective clients. This is the time to show your clients that you are there for them and that you are there to support them. And this is your time to stage your own education event. Now, I'm going to give you 3 tools that are available and you're most likely familiar with, and ways that you can use this to stage your own online event. I personally have used these tools since the first shutdown and hosted over 10 events, 2 boardrooms, 2 masterclasses, 4 panel events, and now 1 digital summit. The point is that you can do this too, and you can leverage your consultancy practice online. You can take your brick and mortar business and pivot to digital delivery around these same concepts, and you can do it using these 3 tools. To event or not to event? This is the question. Once you have made the decision to educate your client base, one of the few tools you'll ever need is Eventbrite. Most of you are fully aware of this platform because that's where half our people have arrived here today. Eventbrite literally creates a party in your pocket. It can bring your existing and future clients to your front porch. It is literally the town crier, which can engage with your existing database and advertise your products and services through hosting an event which demonstrates how these tools can be used for you. It really is a little bit like having your own infomercial without the selling. Because one of the opportunities around education is it's the best form of selling, because you're actually genuinely interested in helping support your current and future client base. One of the things that I've loved about using Eventbrite, having hosted events as part of my consultancy practice as an intellectual property and commercial lawyer since 2015, is that I can now do it quickly and more cheaply than ever before. Previously, when I held a workshop or event, I had to advertise 6 weeks ahead. And now I only need 10 days. In fact, over the 150 people who are on this call today all signed up within the last week, because we only began promoting this last Monday. So what that proves to you, or to show you, is that you can do this quicker than ever before. New events means new customers, and that means new clients for your consultancy or business practice. The second tip that I have for you today is to choose your room with a Zoom. Now, I don't mind if you use Microsoft Teams, Google Meetings, or at Zoom, but at the end of the day, your platform is now your stage to creating an exciting educational experience for your audience. Zoom has a basic plan, which you're all aware of, no doubt, as it's what's brought to you today as well, and it's for free. But for a small investment for only $20, you can have a professional account and have unlimited time. One of the great advantages of Zoom is that you can truly share your stage online. And you can have multiple participants, like panelists, such as we have today. You can host a panel, you can run an intimate fireside chat, or even host a digital summit like you are attending today. My tip for you is don't limit yourself to your 4 walls. With due respect to our personal branding expert, I believe the virtual canvas is one for you to use. You can use it to inspire and create even imagination, like magic. And most importantly, these 4 walls can be used for great effect. And in fact, it was never more easy to use, because you can switch between views with just a tip of the finger. If Eventbrite is the town crier and Zoom is your stage, then without a doubt, Canva is the art department. Canva, a homegrown Australian entrepreneurship success story, has a basic plan, which again is available for free. You can be generating your flyers, backdrops, and social media, such as many of the things that have been created, including these today, all in under an hour, and they can be distributed across your social media channels. This is an incredible tool to use, and it is these three tools that have assisted me to run events online for the last several weeks and during this time of COVID uncertainty. You know, and what the most important thing once you've got these three tools in check is to ensure that you're telling the right story. And it only takes your human sense of perception to understand what your audience needs. So you're actually addressing your audience. I've mentioned before that one of the very easy ways you can begin is to actually understand that the goalposts have changed. As Premier Daniel Andrews said last week, you know, the world is now, or the business world needs to adopt a click and collect model. So what's a better way than hosting an event around how customers can now engage you? Education is our lifeblood. And this is a fantastic opportunity in these changing worlds to build trust and confidence around your brand. And there's no better way to do that, to offer your education for free. As I said, I'm a commercial and intellectual property lawyer, but ever since 2015, I have been offering a high value consultancy item for free because I love empowering my clients to go on that journey of growth. And there's no better way to actually build trust and reliability around your brand by being visible and, most importantly, offering your education for free. And just to finish off today, and in the words, to get my words worth, I leave you with this thought about the power of education to build a client base in these digital days. And I'll just switch for this. To give someone a fish they'll eat for a day, to show them how to catch a fish, and they will eat for a lifetime. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Gareth Benson. It's been proud to be hosting here the Digital Summit with you today, and thank you very much for your attention. So, just to round that out, I'd now like to introduce our final speaker today, and thank you, Anna, who I know is also in events and speaks about the power of them. Basically, Hemi is the CEO of Melbourne Metropolitan College and also the co-host today. I'm going to hand over to him now. He's a digital funnel expert. He is also the author of the best-selling book, Fire Your Boss, and he's very passionate about the role of digital entrepreneurship, having been a digital entrepreneur for many, many years. Will you please give a warm welcome now to our final speaker of the day, Mr. Hemi Hossain.
Thank you, Gareth, and thank you, everyone. I was like amazingly learning so much from everyone today. From Andrew, Zarina, Gareth, and Ossie. Thank you guys. Learned so much in last hour and a half. I think this is our time to do a little bit of exercise. So if everyone just stand up and just give a little bit of jump, just maybe can you do that? Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, just give a little bit of jump. Awesome. Lovely. Lovely. Thank you. And why did I do that? I'm not sure if you guys actually saw that I'm in trouser and working from home in this digital, in the digital world, right? So how amazing is this? You are working from home, you are at your home. This is my study room and I'm in there. And I've been promoting this last 6 years. I have been constantly saying everyone that world is moving towards to digital. And I'm pretty sure that COVID-19 is a learning for all of us. Now we know that, yes, that's truth. Am I right or wrong? If everyone say yes or no. I just want to see that if you think that COVID-19 is a learning for us, and now we understand that, yes, world is in digital. Yes or no? Absolutely. Yes. Awesome. Lovely. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you a pack. It's a very small pack. I developed a PowerPoint pack, and I'm going to show what's going on in the world right now. So let me share my screen. Okay, so everyone see my screen? Fantastic. So thank you. Thank you for being in here with us in last hour and a half. So let's see what's happening in the world right now. What's happening in the world in the last 6 months? Look at this picture. Look at this picture. We all are trying, the business, the entrepreneurs, the people who are in the job. We all are trying our best. We are just trying to survive. But I think this is the time to thrive as well. Just what we need to do, what Ossie said, change your mindset. What Andrew said, think differently. What Zarina said, think about your branding. And what Gareth said, there are so many tools are available in the market right now. Can you use those? And can you change your business right now? If we don't do right now, then what's going to happen in 3 months' time down the track? What's going to happen to 3 months' time? So let's see what's happening in Australia right now. We are our early super release. We are in the job keeper. And then we got some business boost payment from the government. But my question, how long are we going to survive like this? How are we going to survive like this? Are we taking some actions right now to survive and thrive for the future? We cannot continue doing what we've been doing before February 2020, because that was the old world. This is a completely brand new world right now. This is a new economy. So we need to learn this economy to sustain in this new world. So the official Australian unemployment rate hit 7.4% in June. This is the highest it has been since 1998. I know I've been like negative, right? But what I want to tell you guys, what I want to show that, look at what's happening in our economy in Australia. Look at what's happening in our job market. Look at what's happening in our business world. The question is, what can we do right now? So that means we can thrive for the future. So what's happening in Melbourne right now? The Victoria is just stage 4 lockdown. We are at home. It's a devastating situation right now. But again, I would say this is our time to take this as an opportunity rather than thinking too much and be worried and frustrated and depressed. So let's see, what can we do? What can we do in digitally? So as an entrepreneur, we are worried. We don't know which path we should go right now. So we are in the middle and waiting to see if someone can guide us, if someone can tell us what to do. And I'm going to talk about a little bit about that digital entrepreneurship and the funnel and the digital world. So a little bit about me. I'm a migrant Australian, have been living in Australia last 21 years. I finished my university from here, worked in the banking, finance, and the telecom more than 15 years. And now I'm in my digital entrepreneurship journey in last 6 years. And I'm proudly say I'm a digital entrepreneur in last 6 years. And I've been promoting the digital entrepreneurship in last 6 years because my background is the technology background. So that from that perspective, I was always telling that world was moving towards to digital. And now we realize that. So a couple of things about me. I was the best young entrepreneur of the year 2017 in Bangladesh because I'm from Bangladesh and I've got global business in Bangladesh and many other countries right now. And I was awarded the best business award in Melbourne 2018 by Small Business Victoria. And the last one, this is I'm proud of. I've been writing a book in last 3 years. This book was published in January 2020. And the book is Fire Your Boss, from an employee to digital entrepreneur. I didn't say the entrepreneur. I said that from an employee to digital entrepreneur. This is now #1 bestseller. So I'm so proud about this book, about the whole digital entrepreneurship. So look, as an entrepreneur or whatever you are doing, I think you are so good. You are so good. But one thing I'm telling you, good is not enough anymore in this world. We need to be great. We need to be great. I want all of you to think about right now that we want to be great. We want to be great. So my question for the audience, who wants to be great from today? If you want to be great, say, I am. I want to be. So I want to see who is putting that comments. Who wants to be great from today? We don't want to be good anymore. If someone asks you, how you been? Or how are you? We just want to say, we are so great. But to do that, we need that to have that feelings. We need to have that skills. We need to have that tribe just to make sure you can say that I'm so great. I'm so great. So the question is, what do we need to do right now to move our business in online and succeed? So the first thing, you need a clear strategy right now, in order to move your business in online. That's the first thing. The second thing, you need to do immediate preparations and actions. Immediate, it's called massive immediate action. You cannot hold another 3 weeks. You cannot wait another month. We don't have the time. You need to learn the power of social media, because that's actually the power at the moment. So you need to learn how to utilize your social media really well, and the globally, because it doesn't mean you are in Australia. So it doesn't mean anything. You are in the global market right now. Then you need to learn how to actually set up your lead generation machine, the magnet, using your funnel. And at the end, you need some tools in order to move your business into online and do the sales. And at the end, one thing I always tell people, get rid of your ego, be committed, and be coachable. Sometimes what I found, we are not, as an entrepreneur, we are not coachable, because we always have got so much ego, I already know. And I was one of them, trust me, I was one of them. But I went out from there, and that's where I'm today. So I just always tell people, at the last, you need to be coachable and committed. So everybody needs help. I'm telling you, everybody needs help in this world. I need help, you need help. Everyone has got different perspective, different situation. Every one of us has a pain point. The question is, are you resolving someone's pain point? Are you presenting to the right person? What I think Andrew mentioned before. Do you know how to make money out of it? And I think Zarina mentioned that you need to give so much value to your customer. Don't stay exactly that I'm taking your money, but not giving the value. So you need to give so much value. If you are not, I would say exactly what Zarina said, just leave this, do something else. So you need to make sure you give so much value to your customer. So let's go to the next slide. So look at this, our social media world right now. More than 2 billion people are in the Facebook. We have got more than 1.5 billion people are in YouTube. More than 1 billion people are in Instagram. Oh my God, look at this. Where is the business? So think about this, the way we used to do the business, the offline world. I think this online world much powerful than what we were before. You just need to know how to utilize. You just need to know how to utilize the power of social media and convert your business into an online. So I get this question all the time. People are coming to me, Hemi, which platform I should use? Is it Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok? And one of the guru told me to use the Instagram. Another guru told me to use the Facebook. Another guru told me that TikTok is coming. My question is for you. Do you know about your business? Do you know about your business? Do you know, and I think Andrew mentioned that, do you know who is your customer? Do you know your customer avatar? Do you know what platform they are using? So you need to understand your business really well. You need to understand your customer really well. Then you will know which platform they are using. Unless you don't know that, doesn't matter which platform you use, it's not going to work. Trust me, it's not going to work. So I think this is so important. What Andrew mentioned before, your customer avatar is so important before you even using your platform. You need to understand your business really well. 4 biggest mistakes I found as an entrepreneur we do, and we all do that. The first one, we don't upskill ourselves constantly. We don't. We always wait and then see, okay, what is next? And we don't do that. Second thing, we are so scared to take action. And I can see nowadays it's more because we are so worried that, oh my God, what's going to happen? And we don't take action. The third thing, we don't like invest on us. What do we do as an entrepreneur? We invest in the business. But I always tell people, don't invest on your business. This is your time. Invest on you actually. And then at the end, we enroll cheap online course and try to do it by ourselves. And then spend so much time and energy in order to perform that. Maybe that's not the way. You need to learn how someone can help you, how someone can hold your hand right now, because this online world is a little bit different than offline world. So have you tried before? Of course, I did. We all tried, right? And then if you are not, I would say you are the lucky one. We tried so many things and sometimes it didn't work. Sometimes it did work. And then we get frustrated. Of course, we all did, right? Look, I give you one of my example. She's a health coach, Tanya, and she's in my proximity, right? So I want to run this video just to show you guys how I help Tanya. Like, let's watch this video.
My name is Tanya and I'm a health coach, nutritionist and hypnotherapist. Before I started working with Hemi, I was doing so many different things and offering way too many things for clients and potential clients, and I didn't really have a solid direction or a solid structure of any of them. And I was trying to place ads on social media, didn't really know how to do it, so I wasn't getting any results and I was just wasting away money. And I just had no direction of where I wanted to take anything really in a way that it all fit together and made sense both to me and to my clients. So since I've started working with Hemi, I now have a lot more structure and more direction. I've put everything together in a way that it's much more structured now. It makes sense to me and my clients. So learning how to place like social media ads that actually work so they get the interest of my target market, and my target market is so much more clearer now, and I'm actually getting the results from it as well.
So look, at the health coach, right? Even the health coach can be in online. So we converted Tanya's business completely in online. So anything is possible. And I think Andrew mentioned before, I've got few yoga client, and I converted their business in online, and they are running their business even in this current situation. Everything is in streaming, and they are running business really well, and they are doing much better than even before COVID-19. So I think this is such a great opportunity for all of us to think about this. So the question is, what can I do right now? I think this is the things you can do. You need to convert your business, transform your business in online, using the power of social media. Convert yourself as a digital entrepreneur. Implement your lead magnet machine right now. So you're constantly getting the lead in online. And at the end, you need to automate your business. So that means you can do many things. When you automate your business, you can save your time. And there are so many tools and techniques are available in the market as long as you know what to do. Look, as I said, I'm not a guru, right? I'm authentic. And that's what I can say. I'm authentic. I have done it, and I have done it. I teach what I have done. I don't teach anything from the book. I don't have any book. I teach what I have done. I hold other entrepreneurs' hand, and I teach step by step what I have done in my life. And I have amazing team behind me. They are in here. They are in different countries. They are in India. They are in Bangladesh. They are in Philippines. They are in Malaysia. So I've got an amazing team behind me who always help me to do things. So that's what I love to do. And again, I can say, I hold your hand so you can get through. That's what I do. Look, I think that at the end, I can say this is the best time to grow. This is such an amazing opportunity in the world right now. My question, what is holding you back? If it is not now, then my question for you, when? If it is not now, then when? So thank you for coming. Thank you for attending. And thank you for giving me the opportunity. And thank you for Melbourne Metropolitan College to giving me the opportunity to organize this such an amazing event. Any question, anything I can do before I progress? Anything I can do?
Thanks, Hemi. That's fantastic. Look, one of the things that I'd like to ask, Hemi, because one of the things that I've recognized in knowing you for quite a few years, and apart from your passion in helping other entrepreneurs and business owners, is that you've really perfected the art of digital funnels. Can you tell us a little bit about the importance of digital funnels and how you can actually use that then to build your business online in these times?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there, yeah, go.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. So look, let's go back to our offline business. I've got a coffee shop, right? I open a fantastic coffee shop. It's a branded, awesome, lovely, and I'm waiting for someone is going to come to my shop. What is that for the business? A lead. So someone come to your coffee shop, a lead, and then you fantastically say, hey, how are you? I've got fantastic coffee for you. And then that person buy the coffee. Someone buy, someone don't buy. That means he's your customer, right? Awesome, lovely. Think about now. You don't have the coffee shop, or you open it, right? So my question is, what can you do right now? You need to think about it. You have got some skill, something you have got. Otherwise, you cannot run a coffee shop, right? So how you can utilize that skill in online right now? Maybe you can teach someone how to do things in online like a coffee. You are the expert for that. So you can convert that in online. The question is where I'm going to get the lead. Where I'm going to get the lead. How I'm going to run that to people come to me. You have got your social media. You have got your Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok. So you need to utilize that. Then you need to have a funnel. What does it mean? So that has to be an automated way capturing people. So that means they can give their details to you. They can give their details to you. That's called lead magnet. So when they give you details to them, then you need to have another process to convert them, which is your sales funnel. And then also, I always tell people, don't chase for the new customer all the time. You need to learn how to give so much value to your customer so they come back to you frequently. So you don't need to spend money all the time to bring the new client. That means you need to have another funnel ready so that customer, always you're upselling to them. It's not you selling actively, but they buy from you because they got the value out of you. To do these things, you need to learn, and or someone you need hold your hand to teach you this funnel. So you can take your business where it is right now to 5 times, 10 times, doesn't matter what you really want to do. So you need to learn these techniques in online world. And that's what the whole concept of the funnel.
Excellent, Hemi. Well, look, digital delivery is now our new normal. And I think that's one of the things that across these 5 wonderful speakers, or 4 wonderful speakers, has been that digital delivery is a real big part of it. Whether it's amazing photography through Zarina Robertson, whether it's learning to build rapport online for business development through Andrew Morello, or as you're saying, Hemi, through digital funnels. Now, and I think it's probably the right time, with everyone's permission now, just to actually introduce a way that we would like to help. A way and an offer that we, with your permission, that we just like to introduce you to today, that we've put together only with the view of supporting you through this uncertain time for growth. So, Hemi, I think you've got a few slides there just so we can show everyone there. But I would like to take the opportunity to thank all the speakers today who are all very committed also in seeing your success during this time. And that's why we got together and we actually put together a program that is 8 weeks long to actually support businesses navigate into a click and collect model or into an online mode of delivery. We recognize, as we've all been entrepreneurs, that we've all been on this uncertain path where we've all used these tools sporadically. But what we've actually done is we've pulled the expertise of 5 different experts together and actually created a program where we can actually be with you on a journey during these times in COVID that is delivered online, and it is called Clients for Consultants. It is designed to help business owners, entrepreneurs, and those who are already in business to generate and deliver an online client base in 8 weeks. And the program is designed a little bit like this. Within over the first 4 weeks, Hemi, we've actually got a guest speaker where you can hear a little bit more about the expertise of all these different and wonderful experienced entrepreneurs. Beginning first with a growth mindset, really important during these changing times to ensure that we're not seeing this as beginning our journey as being defeated, seeing the opportunity in the adversity. And so we really would like to begin our introduction journey there, where our guest presenter, Ossie Kahn, will speak more about his 3 tips on how to build champion teams, and being an alone and responsible is the ground floor in building a business online during these changing times. The second part is about building opportunities, where we're going to actually be talking about how we actually can develop business online. This includes hosting events, offering education to empower your client base. And of course, we'll have Mr. Morello back again to speak to us about his tips in driving your Ford home to ensure that your business really can grow during these times. The third week, we're actually exploring digital entrepreneurship, where Hemi, I understand, Hemi, that you are going to actually help business owners build a funnel directly for their business. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this time actually what I'm going to do then, I'll actually build your full funnel. So me and my team will build your funnel from your actually scratch to make it, so what I was telling before, how you can utilize your social media, how you can develop a funnel. So that means you can bring huge lead in your business. I'm going to also do automation of your business, how you can integrate with your funnel, with your database, also integrate your messenger bot, also your email funnel, your text funnel. So that means you can be amazingly manage your business from a dashboard. So you can do everything from you come in the morning, open your computer and see how many leads I got today. And then you also know what is my customer is getting and how I'm going to convert those customers into actually really a customer, and also how they're going to pay me the money. So that model. So this is the time actually if you can do it, because in first 4 weeks, we're going to teach you. That means now have enough idea about the online world. But the last 4 weeks is the implementation. So that means I'm going to give you a funnel ready and you can utilize that funnel. Also, it's not only one business. You can utilize this funnel to other businesses whenever you're ready, because you can change. You have got content ready. You have got the copy. You have got everything ready. You have got images, and you can talk to Zarina about fantastic image, picture, and all this, right? So you got everything ready, and I'm gonna implement that for you. Me and my team is gonna implement that for you, and you can utilize this in your current business, or even you are thinking about something else in future. You can just copy that funnel, put into there, change the content, change the strategy. Funnel is gonna work. So that's the last 4 weeks. It's like amazingly a complete automated funnel for you. So you don't need to worry for the old way of doing business.
That's great, Hemi, because I feel that in the digital journey of business, that this is the least understood area, and it's great to have your expertise and a team behind, like those at Melbourne Metropolitan College, to assist. And last but not least, we should also add there in week 4 that Zarina has kindly also offered to do to help business owners with personal branding and the art of standing out. And I'm sure we'll hear more about her book and her thought leadership in that area as well.
I'll also include video as well. There's also going to be about video.
Awesome.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's great, and a very important meaning, because I understand, Zarina, video gains incredible organic reach through different platforms as well. Is that right?
Very much. It is the most powerful medium to use right now and forever.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So look, this is great. We've got put all this basically together. It's called Clients for Consultant. It's about relaunching your business in the online world in the next 8 weeks, with the support of 5 trainers and coaching over the last 3 weeks, so you actually can implement that for those processes, where we will be with you to support you and genuinely want to see you succeed, to actually build that client base within 8 weeks. And we believe that through these 4 weeks and the 4 steps that we've outlined, that you can easily navigate and to digital delivery within 8 weeks. So you've seen.
Sorry, Gareth. I've got a question for the audience right now, right? And this is a question I really want to ask. Do you believe that this is going to help you? If you think that it's going to help you, I want you to put in the comments, yes. I just want to see if you really believe this is going to help you. I just want to understand, rather than, yeah, awesome. I can see everyone is saying yes, yes, definitely, absolutely. Yep, yep. Awesome. Lovely. So everyone is so keen. I'm so glad, and I'm so happy that everyone understand the concept. Everyone understand that, yes, it's going to help them. That is an amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Gareth, it's to you.
Yeah, great. Okay, fantastic. Well, then I think that is probably a right time to introduce, Hemi, the actual opportunity. As we mentioned, maybe just go through those. We've got an information pack that we'll be sending out. But just to move along those slides, Hemi, basically we will be your trainers through this period. Just move through them because you've probably heard a lot.
I love your picture, Gareth.
Oh, thank you very much, Hemi. That was. I'll have to get a refresh from Zarina this year. So
Done.
the next
Done
steps
deal.
here. Yeah. No, I like to do it every year, and actually, I was told by a personal brand coach that it's good to refresh your images, as you said today, Zarina. You know, so it's important to keep your story. And the next steps here is really, this is what the 8 weeks look like. And we're just finalizing some dates here. But at the end of the day, we've got 4 weeks working one-on-one with you, 2 hours every week on a Tuesday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. And we will then move on to coaching and implementation in the final 3 weeks. So listen, if this is an offer that we hope that you'll be interested today, Hemi, what we're actually going to do is actually put a link in the chat box now, and we are going to actually give that offer to you. Hemi, do you want to introduce the offer?
Yes, I can do that. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, give me 1 sec, yeah?
Mm-hmm. So basically, we'd like to see if you're interested. If you're interested in this offer, please, do mention that in the chat box there. But basically, we're envisioning this begins from Tuesday next week, and we'll be running for the next 8 weeks. What that will mean for you is that you'll actually have a different trainer every week, and we'll work together with you to actually pivot your business digitally online. Hemi, over to you.
So look, as I said, right, in these 8 weeks, the objective of this, convert your business physically to online. That's the objective of this time period, right? Look, I've been in this funnel, like say creation and the digital space long time. In Australia, right, when you go to someone and ask to create a funnel, approximately how much they're going to charge you? How much they normally charge you? Zarina, have you ever done that?
Oh, many times.
Many times.
For many reasons.
Yeah. So yeah, any marketer you go, right, they normally charge you between $4,000 to $6,000 to create one funnel, and they are not going to teach you, they are not going to coach you, just to create your funnel only. So that's what they do. But our objective is in here, as I said, right? I align with Zarina, I align with Gareth. We love to give so much value. So that means you can really utilize that. And at the end, you can say, oh my God, these guys actually changed my business. And that's the objective, right? So in order to do that, we came up with this 8 weeks approach to convert your business into online, bring the massive leads for you in online space. So the program cost, we came up with $2,669. So that's the program cost we came up with these 8 weeks. And the first payment of the program is $1,500, $1,500. We need to pay today, and I'm gonna give you guys link very soon in chat. And then the remaining, that's whatever the leftover, you're gonna pay in 4 weeks time when the funnel will start to hit on the market. So that today, if we think that this is the best place for you to go, if you think that yes, I want to convert my business in online, if you really believe that 5 of us can change your business in online, and if you think that we are the authority in the market and we can help you, I would say this is your time to take the massive immediate action right now. So if you are keen to go ahead, what I want you to do in the chat, just say I am in, so I can at least see that who is in, who truly believe that you can do it. So I want to see that who is in. I would be really appreciate if you say I am in. So in the chat, I really want to see if you think that you really want to go ahead and you really think that we can help you. I want to say that I am in, and then just put your things, and then I'm going to give you the chat as well.
Just to respond also, fantastic to see Andrew's in, Riyadh's in, Nazrul is in. And to answer Anna's question on there, basically, we're looking for, the group will basically be a group of entrepreneurs around 10 to 15, possibly more. However, at the end of the day, we're looking to give you one-on-one coaching during that time. We will actually come together during the final 3 weeks on a Tuesday. However, we'll be offering time on the outside of that as well. So listen, Hemi, I think the link's just been launched. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to spend some more time with you. And certainly we're happy to answer any other questions, acknowledging there's about 3 more minutes to go. But really, we're very excited about doing this. This is essentially about support. It is about how we can help assist you navigate from uncertainty to growth. And we warmly welcome you to take an opportunity to spend some more time with us to help you pivot towards online and the incredible opportunities that now lie waiting for you.
Yeah, I think this is the time to ask question. If anyone has got any question, raise your hand. I'm happy to. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Alex has just asked about the 8 weeks. It's an 8-week program. And so basically we're looking to come together and walk with you over this journey over the next 4 weeks. We'll certainly be in contact, we'll publish this information as well. I think that the link's been posted. Hemi, you've made sure that's happened. And basically we will also be in touch just to touch base because we're very interested in feedback. Obviously, this is a great opportunity for us to make our stage in this online world. This has been the first time we've run the Digital Summit, and certainly something we're looking to do ongoing, because at the end of the day, it is about community and the way that we can help each other navigate from uncertainty to growth. So unless there's any other further comments, I'd like to warmly thank everyone for attending. We've had up over 100 people attend today, and we really thank everyone for their time. And particularly one last thank you for our speakers in no order of appearance. However, Mr. Morello, Andrew Morello, can you please also thank Mr. Ossie Kahn, and of course, Ms. Zarina Robertson. Thank you very much for your time. And of course, Melbourne Metropolitan College and Hemi Hossain for hosting today's event. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll be in touch, and as always, stay strong and keep your eye on the horizon to navigate towards uncertainty to growth. We look forward to being in touch with you soon, and thank you very much for joining us all here today.
Thank you.
Hey guys, take it easy.
Thank you.
It's 5 o'clock.